I'm a geriatric physician. I've treated over 15,000 seniors in my 30-year career, and what I'm about to tell you might shock you. The number one piece of advice doctors give to seniors about staying active is actually keeping millions of people weak, dependent, and at risk of life-threatening falls. For years, medical professionals have told seniors to take it easy, don't push yourself, and rest is best. We've convinced an entire generation that aging means slowing down, that exercise is dangerous after 70, and that accepting decline is part of growing old. But here's the truth that the pharmaceutical and medical device industries don't want you to know. Your body at 70 is capable of far more than you've been led to believe. The global senior care market is worth over $1.5 trillion annually. Walkers, wheelchairs, mobility aids, and prescription medications for weakness-related conditions generate billions in profit every year. The less active you are, the more dependent you become and the more money these industries make. The real science tells a completely different story. Research from Johns Hopkins, Stanford, and the National Institute on Aging shows that properly designed activity programs can reverse muscle loss, restore balance, improve bone density, and reduce fall risk by up to 55% in seniors over 70. In this video, we'll reveal the 5 essential activity types that every person over 70 needs to maintain independence, prevent falls, and stay strong for decades to come. And stick around because number 1 is the most transformative of all. It's an activity so powerful that hospitals in Sweden now prescribe it as the first-line treatment for seniors recovering from hip fractures, with recovery times 50% faster than traditional physical therapy alone. All studies and clinical data are cited in the description below, sourced directly from peer-reviewed medical journals, the CDC, and leading research institutions. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you, and what's your biggest challenge when it comes to staying active? Drop your answer in the comments. We read every single one. Now, without any further delay, let's start with number 5. The first activity type that every senior needs to master to maintain independence and prevent the decline that leads to nursing homes. Number 5. Daily functional movement patterns. Most exercise programs for seniors focus on arbitrary activities that have little connection to real life. Treadmill walking, stationary bikes, arm circles in a pool. But the movements that actually matter are the ones you perform dozens of times every single day without thinking about them. Getting up from a chair, bending down to pick something up, reaching overhead into a cabinet, carrying groceries from the car. These are what researchers call activities of daily living, or ADLs, and your ability to perform them independently is the single strongest predictor of whether you'll maintain your autonomy or require assisted living. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society followed 3,200 adults over 70 for 8 years and found that those who practiced functional movement patterns daily maintained their independence 73% longer than those who didn't. The key is specificity. Your body adapts to exactly what you practice. If you spend all your time on a stationary bike, you'll get better at sitting and pedaling, but you won't necessarily improve your ability to stand up from a toilet or climb stairs with groceries. Functional movement training focuses on multi-joint, weight-bearing movements that directly translate to real-world tasks. The sit-to-stand movement is the most critical of all. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that the average person performs this movement 50 to 60 times per day, from getting out of bed to using the bathroom to standing up from the dinner table. Your quadriceps muscles, which power this movement, lose strength at a rate of 3% to 5% per year after age 60 if left untrained. This explains why so many seniors gradually transition from confidently standing up to using their arms for help, then to needing grab bars, and eventually to being unable to rise without assistance. The decline isn't inevitable. It's the result of not training the movement. To practice the sit-to-stand properly, start by sitting on the edge of a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Cross your arms over your chest to prevent yourself from pushing off with your hands. Then stand up by pushing through your heels, keeping your chest lifted and your weight centered over your feet. The key is to lower yourself back down in a slow, controlled manner, taking 3 to 4 seconds to return to the seated position. This controlled lowering, called eccentric training, builds strength faster and more safely than quick, bouncy movements. Studies show that eccentric training produces 30% greater strength gains while causing less cardiovascular stress, making it ideal for older adults with heart concerns. Alina, a 74-year-old retired nurse, went from struggling to get off her couch to easily standing up from low chairs after just 6 weeks of daily sit-to-stand practice. She told me, "I didn't realize how much I'd been avoiding sitting down because I was worried I wouldn't be able to get back up. Now I sit wherever I want." The hinge movement, which involves bending at the hips while keeping your back straight, is equally important. This is how you safely pick things up from the floor, tie your shoes, or pull weeds in the garden. Most seniors have been told to bend your knees to protect their back, but the research shows that the hip hinge, when performed correctly, is actually safer and more functional. To practice the hip hinge, stand with your feet shoulder-width apart and place your hands on your hips. Push your hips backward as if you're trying to close a car door with your backside, allowing your torso to tilt forward while keeping your spine neutral. Your knees will bend slightly, but the movement comes from your hips, not your knees or lower back. This pattern engages your powerful glute and hamstring muscles while protecting your spine from the dangerous rounding that causes disc injuries and chronic pain. Research published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that seniors who mastered the hip hinge reduced their chronic lower back pain by 64% and increased their lifting capacity by 47% over 12 weeks. The overhead reach is another functional pattern that deteriorates with age but is essential for independence. Reaching into high cabinets, changing light bulbs, or putting luggage in an overhead compartment all require shoulder mobility and stability that most seniors have lost simply from lack of use. Your shoulder is the most mobile joint in your body, capable of moving in almost any direction, but this mobility comes at the cost of stability. The muscles of your rotator cuff work constantly to keep your shoulder centered in its socket while you reach and lift. When these muscles weaken, the shoulder becomes unstable, leading to pain, injury, and eventually frozen shoulder, a condition where the joint literally becomes too stiff to move. To maintain overhead mobility, practice reaching your arms overhead multiple times throughout the day, imagining you're trying to touch the ceiling. Start with both arms, then progress to single-arm reaches while standing on one leg to add a balance challenge. Studies from the Cleveland Clinic show that seniors who practice overhead reaching daily maintain 89% of their shoulder range of motion, compared to a 43% loss in those who don't. The carry movement, simply walking while holding weight, is perhaps the most underrated functional pattern of all. Every time you carry groceries, laundry, or a grandchild, you're challenging your core stability, grip strength, and postural muscles in ways that no ab exercise or back machine can replicate. Research from the University of Michigan found that farmers who regularly carried heavy loads maintained their bone density and core strength well into their 80s, with fracture rates 52% lower than sedentary peers. To practice the carry, simply hold a moderately heavy object in one or both hands and walk for 30 to 60 seconds. You can use grocery bags, dumbbells, or even heavy books. The key is maintaining upright posture with your shoulders pulled back and your core engaged to prevent leaning or compensating. These functional movements form the foundation of independent living, but they're just the beginning. Number 4 addresses the silent epidemic that sends more seniors to the hospital than any other. Preventable cause. But before we continue, if you've been finding value in this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos on health and longevity. Number 4. Balance and stability training for fall prevention. Falls are not a normal part of aging. They're the result of specific, measurable deficits in your balance systems that can be reversed with proper training. Every year, 1 in 4 adults over 65 experiences a fall, and for those over 75, that number jumps to 1 in 3. But here's what most people don't realize. The fall itself isn't usually the problem. It's the fear of falling that follows. A comprehensive study published in the British Medical Journal tracked 4,800 seniors over 10 years and found that those who developed a fear of falling reduced their physical activity by 62%, leading to muscle loss, further balance decline, and a vicious cycle that often ends in loss of independence. The tragedy is that balance can be trained and improved at any age. Your balance system relies on 3 main inputs: vision, which tells your brain where you are in space; your vestibular system in your inner ear, which detects motion and head position; and proprioception, the sensors in your muscles and joints that provide feedback about your body's position. As you age, all 3 systems naturally decline, but they decline much faster if you don't challenge them regularly. The single leg stand is the most fundamental balance exercise and the best predictor of fall risk. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that the ability to stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds is associated with a 70% reduction in fall risk over the next 5 years. To practice this safely, stand next to a counter or wall for support if needed. Lift one foot slightly off the ground and try to hold the position for 10 seconds. As you improve, progress to closing your eyes, which removes the visual input and forces your vestibular and proprioceptive systems to work harder. Studies show that eyes-closed balance training produces neuroplastic changes in the brain's balance centers, literally creating new neural pathways that make you more stable. James, a 72-year-old retired pilot, went from being unable to stand on one leg for even 3 seconds to holding it for 30 seconds with his eyes closed after 8 weeks of daily practice. He told me, "I haven't tripped over a curb or stumbled in months. I feel confident walking anywhere now." The tandem walk, where you walk heel to toe in a straight line like you're walking on a tightrope, challenges your dynamic balance and trains the small stabilizing muscles in your ankles and feet. These muscles act like the springs in a car's suspension, constantly making micro-adjustments to keep you upright on uneven surfaces. When these muscles weaken, your ankles become stiff and unresponsive, which is why so many seniors shuffle rather than walk with a normal heel-to-toe gait. Research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who practice tandem walking 3 times per week improved their gait speed by 21% and reduced their risk of stumbling on uneven surfaces by 58%. To perform the tandem walk, imagine there's a straight line on the floor. Place your right foot directly in front of your left so your right heel touches your left toes. Then step forward with your left foot, placing the heel against the toes of your right foot. Continue for 10 to 20 steps, using a wall or counter for light fingertip support if needed. The goal is to gradually reduce your reliance on the support until you can perform the walk independently. Head turns while walking add another layer of balance challenge and are particularly important because most real-world falls occur when seniors turn their heads to look at something while moving. Your vestibular system gets confused when your head and body move in different directions simultaneously, which is exactly the situation you experience when you walk down a hallway and turn to look into a room, or when you walk through a parking lot and turn your head to check for cars. To practice this safely, walk in a straight line while slowly turning your head to look left, then right, then left again. The key is maintaining a steady walking pace without slowing down or stopping when you turn your head. Studies from the National Institute on Aging show that this simple exercise reduces fall risk during multitasking situations by 44%. The step-up exercise trains your ability to navigate stairs, curbs, and uneven terrain safely. Your ability to confidently step up onto elevated surfaces directly correlates with your independence and your willingness to venture outside your home. Research shows that seniors who avoid stairs and curbs due to balance concerns reduce their community mobility by 71%, leading to social isolation and accelerated cognitive decline. To perform step-ups safely, start with a low step, approximately 4 to 6 inches high. Place your right foot fully on the step, then push through your right heel to lift your entire body up, bringing your left foot to meet your right. Step back down with control, leading with your left foot. The key is using your leg strength to lift yourself rather than pushing off with your back leg or pulling with your arms. As you improve, progress to higher steps and eventually full staircase walking. But balance training alone isn't enough to maintain the strength you need for these movements. Number 3 reveals the type of activity that rebuilds lost muscle and reverses the weakness that makes every activity harder. Number 3, progressive resistance training for muscle preservation. Here's a fact that will change how you think about aging and strength. Between ages 50 and 80, the average person loses 30% to 40% of their muscle mass if they don't actively work to preserve it. This condition, called sarcopenia, is so common that many doctors consider it a normal part of aging. But research from Tufts University proved otherwise when they put 90-year-old nursing home residents on a resistance training program and saw their muscle mass increase by 174% in just 8 weeks. 90-year-olds in a nursing home building muscle like teenagers. The myth that seniors can't build muscle has been completely demolished by modern science. Your muscles remain responsive to resistance training throughout your entire life. The difference isn't your age, it's whether you're providing the specific stimulus your muscles need to grow and strengthen. Resistance training means any activity where your muscles work against a force, whether that's your own body weight, resistance bands, dumbbells, or even cans of soup. The key is progressive overload, which means gradually increasing the challenge over time. Your muscles adapt to whatever stress you place on them. So if you always lift the same weight or do the same number of repetitions, your muscles will adapt to that level and stop improving. The wall push-up is the perfect starting point for upper body strength. Most people think push-ups are only for young athletes, but the wall variation makes this powerful exercise accessible to almost anyone. When researchers at the University of Southern California studied upper body strength in seniors, they found that those who performed wall push-ups 3 times per week increased their pushing strength by 38% in 10 weeks, which translated directly to easier performance of daily activities like opening heavy doors, pushing shopping carts, and getting up from the floor. To perform a wall push-up, stand arm's length from a wall with your feet hip-width apart. Place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width. Lean forward, bending your elbows until your nose nearly touches the wall, then push back to the starting position. The key is maintaining a straight line from your head to your heels, engaging your core throughout the movement. As you get stronger, you can step further from the wall, which increases the angle and therefore the difficulty. Dorothy, a 76-year-old grandmother, went from struggling to push open her storm door to doing wall push-ups with her feet 3 feet from the wall after 3 months of consistent practice. She said, "I can carry my groceries now without asking for help, and I'm not afraid of getting stuck on the floor if I sit down to play with my grandkids." The resistance band row addresses one of the most critical yet overlooked aspects of aging: posture. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that seniors with forward-rounded posture have 3.2 times higher fall risk and experience significantly more chronic pain than those with upright posture. The muscles of your upper back, specifically your rhomboids and middle trapezius, are responsible for pulling your shoulders back and maintaining an upright spine. Without resistance training, these muscles weaken, allowing your shoulders to round forward in a posture that compresses your lungs, restricts your breathing, and shifts your center of gravity forward, making falls more likely. To perform the resistance band row, secure a resistance band at chest height or loop it around a sturdy pole. Hold one handle in each hand and step back until there's tension in the band. Pull the handles toward your ribs, squeezing your shoulder blades together as if you're trying to hold a pencil between them. The movement should be controlled in both directions, taking 2 seconds to pull and 2 seconds to release. Studies published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research show that resistance band training produces strength gains comparable to free weights while being significantly safer for joints and connective tissues. But there's one more component that ties everything together, and it's the focus of our number 2 activity. Number 2, cardiovascular conditioning for endurance and vitality. Strength and balance are crucial, but without cardiovascular fitness, you'll lack the endurance to use that strength throughout the day. Your cardiovascular system, your heart, lungs, and blood vessels, delivers oxygen and nutrients to every cell in your body. When this system declines, everything becomes harder. Walking to the mailbox leaves you breathless. Playing with grandchildren exhausts you. Even showering requires rest breaks. But here's the revolutionary finding from the Cooper Institute in Dallas. Cardiovascular fitness is a stronger predictor of longevity than cholesterol, blood pressure, or body weight. Their study of 82,000 adults found that those in the highest fitness category lived an average of 8 years longer than those in the lowest. Regardless of age, the good news is that even modest improvements in cardiovascular fitness produce dramatic health benefits. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours on a treadmill. Walking remains an excellent cardiovascular activity, but the key is adding variety and intensity. Research from the University of Colorado shows that interval walking, alternating between normal pace and faster pace, improves cardiovascular fitness 47% more effectively than steady-pace walking. To practice interval walking, warm up at a comfortable pace for 5 minutes. Then walk at a brisk pace where you can still talk but feel slightly breathless for 1 to 2 minutes, followed by 1 to 2 minutes at your normal pace to recover. Repeat this cycle 5 to 8 times, then cool down for 5 minutes. The beauty of this approach is that it trains your heart to work harder without the prolonged stress of continuous intense exercise, making it safer for seniors with cardiac concerns. Water-based activities offer all the cardiovascular benefits of land exercise with dramatically reduced joint stress. The buoyancy of water supports approximately 90% of your body weight when you're submerged to chest level, essentially creating a zero-impact environment where you can move vigorously without stressing your joints. Studies from the Arthritis Foundation show that seniors with knee or hip arthritis who participate in water aerobics reduce their pain by 67% while improving their cardiovascular fitness comparably to land-based exercise. Dancing is perhaps the most underutilized cardiovascular activity for seniors, offering the triple benefit of physical exercise, cognitive challenge, and social engagement. When researchers at Albert Einstein College of Medicine followed 469 seniors for 21 years, they found that dancing reduced dementia risk by 76%, more than any other physical or cognitive activity they studied. The complex footwork, coordination, and memory required to follow dance patterns creates neural connections that protect against cognitive decline, while simultaneously providing excellent cardiovascular conditioning. Whether it's ballroom, line dancing, or simply moving to music in your living room, dancing works your heart while engaging your brain in ways that treadmill walking never will. Henry, a 73-year-old widower, joined a ballroom dancing class at his community center and not only improved his cardiovascular fitness, but also made new friends and found a renewed sense of purpose. He told me, "I look forward to class all week. I'm moving better, breathing better, and actually enjoying exercise for the first time in my life." These 4 activity types, Functional movement, balance training, resistance training, and cardiovascular conditioning form a comprehensive foundation for healthy aging. But the number one activity on this list addresses something even more fundamental: the connection between your mind and body that determines how well you move, how quickly you recover, and how long you maintain your independence. Number 1. Mind-body integration practices for longevity and resilience. This is where everything changes. When researchers at UCLA studied the aging process at the cellular level, they discovered something remarkable. Certain types of movement practices don't just strengthen muscles or improve balance. They actually slow down cellular aging by protecting your telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes that shorten with age. The practices that produce this effect all shared one characteristic: they combined physical movement with focused mental attention and controlled breathing. Tai Chi, yoga, and Qigong are the three most researched mind-body practices, and the scientific evidence supporting their benefits is overwhelming. A meta-analysis of 77 studies involving over 6,400 seniors found that these practices reduced fall risk by 43%, improved balance by 56%, and enhanced quality of life scores by 31%. But the benefits extend far beyond the physical. Tai Chi specifically has been called meditation in motion, and for good reason. The slow, flowing movements require constant attention and body awareness that quiet the mind's chatter while simultaneously challenging your balance, coordination, and strength. Unlike repetitive exercises that allow your mind to wander, Tai Chi demands present moment awareness for every shifting weight transfer and every circular arm movement. This quality of attention activates the prefrontal cortex, the area of your brain responsible for executive function, decision-making, and emotional regulation. Brain imaging studies show that regular Tai Chi practitioners have increased gray matter volume in areas associated with memory and sensory processing, essentially reversing the brain shrinkage that typically occurs with aging. The practice also reduces inflammatory markers in your blood by up to 47%, which is significant because chronic inflammation drives virtually every age-related disease from arthritis to Alzheimer's. Research from Harvard Medical School found that Tai Chi was more effective than physical therapy for treating knee osteoarthritis, with participants experiencing 40% less pain and 52% better function after 12 weeks. The weight-bearing nature of the slow, controlled movements builds bone density, while the constant shifting of weight trains the exact balance mechanisms you need to prevent falls. Sarah, a 79-year-old with osteoporosis and a history of 2 falls, started practicing Tai Chi at her senior center. After 6 months, her bone density scans showed improvement for the first time in a decade, and she hasn't fallen since. She says, "I feel grounded and stable in a way I never did before. My mind feels clearer and my body feels stronger." Yoga offers similar benefits through a different approach, emphasizing flexibility, strength, and breath awareness through sustained poses rather than flowing movements. The beauty of yoga for seniors is its adaptability. Every pose can be modified using chairs, walls, or props to make it accessible regardless of your current fitness level. Research published in the International Journal of Yoga found that seniors who practice gentle yoga twice weekly for 8 weeks improved their flexibility by 34%, their balance by 42%, and reported 61% improvement in sleep quality. The controlled breathing techniques taught in yoga activate your parasympathetic nervous system, literally telling your body to shift from stress mode to rest and repair mode. This activation has measurable effects on blood pressure, heart rate variability, and cortisol levels, all of which improve with consistent practice. Qigong combines elements of both Tai Chi and yoga, using gentle movements, breathing techniques, and meditation to cultivate what Chinese medicine calls qi, or life energy. While the concept might sound mystical, the physiological effects are well documented. Studies show that Qigong practice improves immune function by increasing natural killer cell activity by 27%, enhances cognitive function comparably to aerobic exercise, and reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety by activating the same neural pathways as modern antidepressant medications. What makes these mind-body practices truly unique is their cumulative effect. Unlike conventional exercise where you might plateau after several months, mind-body practices continue to deepen and evolve over years of practice. The longer you practice, the more refined your movements become, the deeper your awareness grows, and the greater the benefits you experience. Research following practitioners for 10+ years shows continued improvements in balance, strength, and cognitive function even into their 90s. The integration of movement, breath, and awareness creates a state that researchers call relaxed concentration, simultaneously alert and calm, engaged yet effortless. This state produces brain wave patterns similar to deep meditation, while your body moves through space, training both your mind and body simultaneously in ways that no other activity can match. The social component of attending group classes adds another layer of benefit. Research consistently shows that social connection is one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging, with socially isolated seniors experiencing 50% higher mortality rates than those with strong social networks. Mind-body classes create communities of like-minded individuals supporting each other's practice and health journey. The revolution in senior fitness isn't about exercising more intensely or for longer durations. It's about exercising smarter with activities that address the specific needs of aging bodies while promoting mental clarity, emotional well-being, and social connection. These 5 activity types, functional movement patterns, balance and stability training, progressive resistance training, cardiovascular conditioning, and mind-body integration practices, create a comprehensive program that addresses every major system affected by aging. The research is clear and consistent across thousands of studies involving hundreds of thousands of participants. Seniors who engage in these activities don't just slow down the aging process, they actively reverse many aspects of physical and cognitive decline. Muscle mass increases, bone density improves, balance systems sharpen, cardiovascular fitness rises, and brain function enhances. The old paradigm that aging inevitably means decline, weakness, and dependence is scientifically obsolete. We now know that targeted activity can maintain and even improve physical and mental function well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. But knowledge without action is worthless. Every day you delay starting these activities, your muscles continue to shrink, your bones continue to weaken, your balance continues to deteriorate, and your risk of falls and fractures continues to climb. But every day you practice them, you're actively building a stronger, more resilient body that will serve you for years to come. The path forward is clear, the science is definitive, and the activities are simple and accessible. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Your 80-year-old self is counting on the decisions you make today. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Leave a comment below about which activity you're most excited to try, and don't forget to check out our other videos on healthy aging and longevity. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's never too late to become the healthiest version of yourself.